Hello and welcome, everyone. It's good to see you all this morning. I think we're going to have a few people coming in either right now and then probably here soon in the future as well. This morning, we're going to focus on how to create a meditation practice that's really flexible. But first, I just want to say thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you so much for being here today. It's really just like out of a series of questions that people have asked me about this meditation practice that I've decided to make this group and this video. So today we're going to cover just one question that someone asked me yesterday, and then we're going to get to a whole series of questions. And basically what we're going to do is create an adaptive, tranquil meditation practice that's going to help you really integrate meditation into your life on a practical level. Okay, so today I'd really like to just meditate with you guys, but first you might notice some noise in the background. This is a classic meditation experience, the landscapers. You know, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday morning and landscapers come in and they decide to do some, tree cutting in your front yard, and you're trying to have a peaceful meditation. So how do you deal with this situation? Do you just give up and not meditate? Or do you try and push through it and have one of those really rigid and stressful meditations where you actually come out more stressed than when you started? Today we're going to talk about how to be flexible and adaptive in your meditation and how to separate the triggers of the external world from the triggers of the internal world, and how meditation can help you distinguish between those two focus points. Okay? So first of all, let's dive right into our practice, because this morning it's all about meditating with noise. And if you can meditate with landscapers, you can meditate almost anywhere. So I'll show you outside. We just had a moving truck that passed by. It's been a crazy morning. There's been people all up and down the street. We've had people cutting stuff in the front yard, and a moving truck that just went by. Oh man, it looks like they moved up the street now. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them? Can you see them up there? There they are. There they are. They were just in our front yard. But they'll be cutting things and sawing things and having fun with that. So that's just one part of our practice today. But I really want to get into it here. So go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. Let your arms relax and just take a breath with me real quick. At this moment, if there is any noise, you might think to yourself, oh shit, what am I going to do? That noise can immediately trigger a feeling of uneasiness on the inside, because there's activity in the outside. So what I really want to propose to you is that maybe to create an adaptive practice, flexibility. What happens when we get upset about noise on the outside? We have a notion of a goal in our meditation practice. And we've got to keep our eyes on that goal, but part of that goal is serenity and peacefulness. So I'll write in here, serenity. But what if it's not? What if it's not serene? And what if it is that there are landscapers outside? You get fatigued, and immediately you start to have second thoughts about even meditating at all. But what I think this is an opportunity. I don't think that this is a challenge. I don't think that this is a reason not to meditate. But I do think that it is an opportunity to take your practice a little deeper. So I've drawn here on this side. If your mind is open to accepted possibilities during the meditation practice, without any specific goal in mind, then you're able to relax deeper into your meditation. If you go into the meditation thinking, I'm going to have a peaceful, serene, stress-free experience, then you're likely to expect the external world to do everything it can to support you in that experience. And when it doesn't, then you get a little uneasy and upset, and actually leads to the opposite. So if you go into your meditation thinking, I'm just going to see what happens, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to focus on my breath, and whatever happens, that's what happens, right? From that space, you're able to be flexible to a wide range of accepted possibilities, not just the ones that your personality wants at that moment. That's an important part to a flexible, fun, and creative, adaptive meditation practice. So you might hear the landscapers going outside. I encourage you to sit with me while we listen to the landscapers. This is a perfect opportunity to deepen your practice. Okay, so find a comfortable seated position. You don't have to find it right away. Take your time. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Immediately, I encourage you to recognize the sound. Say, instead of, there's no sound, I'm going to have a peaceful meditation practice, and there's no sound because my meditation practice is peaceful. Instead say, there is a sound, and through it, I'm going to be flexible and adaptive. I'm going to accept the sound. And that's the second key, is acceptance. First is recognition, then it's acceptance. When you can accept the sound into your meditation practice, then you can truly become aware, and you can integrate the sound into your meditation practice. Instead of it being an inhibiting factor, it becomes a playful experience of life, happening all around you, while you remain at your center. So breathing into our first step of recognition. Outside, there are landscapers. Inside, there is flexibility. You might use your breath as a tool to focus in your meditation. So as you find your mind thinking about the sound itself, I want you rather to think about the act of meditating itself. And in this case, part of the act of meditating is listening to your breath and actively partaking in it. That means breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in any order thereof. Listening to your breath as the noise happens all around you, relaxing into a deeper space in your meditation practice. Through the lack of sound and the sound, it's all the same. There's no difference. There's no goal. You are completely flexible in this space of mental adaptivity. Just peacefully listening to your breath. There's no expectation that the sound will go away. And when it turns off, there's no expectation that the sound will come back. Because it doesn't matter either way. You have a deeper purpose in this meditation. Recognizing this can help you distinguish the stimulus of the external world from the stimulus of the internal world. Usually, when something happens, i.e. a sound, in the external world, your mind immediately wants to grasp onto it, like a jaguar pouncing on a mouse. The mind wants to make all sorts of conclusions about the future of your experience and the present expectation of your experience. But when you're able to distinguish and let go of expectation, of future, expectation of present, an expectation of self, and simply say, I'm just going to sit here and listen to my breath. We're going to see what happens. You can truly accept whatever comes in life. Knowing that wherever you are right now, whenever you are right now, we're binded together through space and time through this mutual experience. And in this mutual experience, how we respond is completely subjective. And actually what we experience is completely subjective. But the stimulus of both of our experiences remains constant. Therefore, allowing there to be a subjective interpretation of the world in every experience. Today, what we're learning is how to be flexible in our interpretation of the world. How to let go of our expectation of the world and therefore gain a greater clarity of our internal state versus the external stimulus. Breathing into that space. Finding your breath to be another consistent factor in your meditation practice. Right about now, you might be thinking, I have to do something. Or you may have thought that recently. I can't be sitting here listening to Ben talk. I have to do something. Fill in the blank. I encourage you to sit through that feeling for the next 5 minutes as we continue this meditation and then wrap up this meditation. You'll have all day to act. And also congratulating yourself for sitting through these past few minutes where there was all this noise coming in and out as I was talking, giving you instructions, and as you just sat there peacefully. listening to your breath. Noticing the external world, accepting its sounds, is something that happens on the internal world too. Every day, you go through cycles of emotion. You might feel out of place in a social situation, or you might feel right at home. Oftentimes, it's much easier to accept yourself and recognize yourself when you're in a positive space, or what you perceive to be a positive space. What we're practicing today is working in perceived negative space and transforming that space, allowing yourself to accept that space and love it, like a child needs acceptance and love after an event. So today, I really want to encourage you to embrace yourself and say, hey, no matter what happened in today's meditation, it was great. It was a good meditation. Even if it wasn't what I expected or what I had in mind, that's okay. How I'm feeling right now is okay. I love myself regardless of how I'm feeling right now. And not only that, but I actively recognize how I'm feeling. And I'm able to love myself authentically in the state that I'm in. Not portraying a false feeling or anything like that, but rather accepting how you're feeling right now and loving yourself through it. Recognizing that outside there's a massive chainsaw tree eater thing, eating things, making a lot of noise. Recognizing that and accepting that as the reality, yet not letting it determine how you're going to feel. Saying, through that sound, I'm going to remain the constant factor. My internal state and how I respond to it does not solely need to be dependent upon the external stimulus. I can actively choose to empower my thoughts beyond the external world, and deep at my core can be the stimulus of my emotion. And in that space, not being attached to any result thereof. Saying, hey, the external world may happen, and it may trigger whatever emotions within me, but I'm going to remain flexible and loving within that space. So there's a tangible sense in which you are the constant factor in the meditation, and also the flexible factor in the meditation. Your mind becomes constant and adaptive, with breath tying the two things together. It's as simple as that. And in any moment, and in any day, when a sound comes in your meditation, you can accept it and recognize it. And you can accept yourself and recognize yourself in any given social situation. With breath. As the bridging factor between the external and the internal world. Thank you, friends and family, for joining me in today's meditation. And partaking in this answer of how do you meditate with the landscaping company? How do you meditate with sound happening everywhere? Feel free to post your comments, questions, anything that you have on this video, and feel free to come back and rewatch it and allow this practice to sink in. Lots of love. Thank you again for joining me in today's meditation. Thank you for being here as friends and family. Thank you for just existing on planet Earth. Know that today I recognize you, and today I accept you as enough. Thank you. Peace be with you.